Hey folks, welcome to the WOAFM99 Get to Know Your Artist series. Today is episode 17 of season 30. So as all our returning viewers, our fans of the WFM99 show know, this is the pre-show, sort of like the highlights of what's going to be coming up on the long form WOAFM99 radio show and podcast tomorrow night. Okay, so today I'll just give you a lowdown of who are the artists selected for our Certified Indie Songs of the Week, including who the special guest is. I haven't really revealed that. Oh, actually, we did reveal it on our on the promo that went out on Instagram and Facebook. So in case you don't follow us on Instagram and Facebook, the WFM99 show, please do. Instagram is at WOAFM99 and on Facebook it's WOA Records and Studios. But you can also find it when you just tag at WOA International. You'll find the WOA Records and Studios page. There is also a WOAFM99 page on Facebook, but that's sort of like a secondary page. All the main stuff happens on the main WOA Records and Studios page, and then we just share it to the WOAFM99 page on Facebook. Okay, so if you follow us everywhere, that's all that matters. You'll get to know what's coming up on the show. And of course, today's show, this is my take on some of the artists we've chosen for our Certified Indie Songs of the Week. Also, some highlights or some news or breaking news about our WOA Records artists, okay, elite roster list. We do sign up a few artists for certain projects, artists that we really like or we really support. And these are major projects, so they'll be chart projects and getting them on the charts, Billboard charts, official UK charts, iTunes, Amazon around the world. Things like that, Grammy ballads, all that stuff. So we've got some big news on some of our artists, and so let me get into it. I'm going to read out some of the names of the artists who have been selected for our Certified Indie Songs of the Week. Okay, but this is not in the order that it's going to be on the radio show. So this is I've just written down the list of acts and some of my thoughts on the songs or the artists or whatever. Some of them are quite new acts that we've never played before, while others are artists that we supported in the past, and some are, of course, our WA elite roster acts. So without further ado, here we go. So a lot of them are singer-songwriters for this episode, okay? For example, we got Caleb Barth, that's the name of the artist, Caleb Barth, A Little While, that's the name of the song. It's very modern singer-songwriter, starts off very unplugged, but then, of course, you get in a bit of produced sound in there, but it still stays in that very live sort of singer-songwriter feel. I quite like this song, very well-written track, Then we've got Abigail Avram, and the song is called Too American. Now, this is a ballad, like the modern pop ballad, okay? Not a ballad like Celine Dion or one of those, okay? This is more modern pop ballad, but there is some nice stuff that starts the song, okay? Some sort of sampled vocals, let's call it that. So you got to tune in to figure out what I'm talking about, but a very, very cool song. Then we've got Bob Martinez with Cries from Below. This is very soft rock, okay? It sounds very, what you hear on radio right now, like top 40, very produced sound, okay? But very well produced sound, I should say. So Cries from Below, Bob Martinez. And then we have Henry Herschel, Down That Road. The only way I can describe this song would be atmospheric rock. Okay, now figure out what I'm trying to say, but tune in tomorrow night to know what the song is all about. Obviously, on the radio show, I will give you a bit more of a critique on the song itself. So today it's more about just a general overview of what you can expect tomorrow night. Okay. But then we have Holly Lersky, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Holly Lersky, the song's called Arc Refrain. I quite like this, okay? It's very singer-songwriter, but it's very Americana, okay? You've got the banjo in there. It starts with banjo, and then the banjo continues with this arrangement that they've got with the band. And I quite like this song, okay? It's very, I wouldn't say very unique, but it's different from your regular stuff that you hear, okay? So, but at the same time, it's still regular, if that makes sense. But the banjo really, that was one of the things that really picked me up. I'm like, okay, not many modern singer-songwriters are attempting to use Americana sounds, They're going with the standard sort of produced sounds, even if it's singer-songwriter or rock even. For example, there's some rock songs here. It just sounds very, very produced, like top 40, which there's nothing unique about it, And so when you hear something unique about a sound, like a banjo added or mandolin or tablas or whatever, you know what I mean? And if it's used in a live sort of feel, people are going to take notice now. You know, if it's used like an AI sort of thing, it'll just get sort of ignored because people can tell like that, you know, and it's not like a real sound, and it's just, you've just added it in to sort of make it sound cool. We then have Eggman Road. Eggman Road is one of my favorite country artists right now. They're from Indiana. It's a husband and wife. Now Tony is a jazz musician actually, and Chris is the songwriter. She does country and all those kinds of stuff. And so they use AI, they use samples, or they're producers basically. And this is a new single by them actually called Mama's Boy. Okay, I quite like this single, but there was another song that we're promoting in a big way, and the song is done really well. That's called I Never Want Our Past to Be Our Present. I always get the name wrong. Present to be our past or past to be our present. Sorry guys, but that's a beautiful song. That's a song that sort of got me hooked to Eggman Road. And their song is played in Sweden, it's played in Brazil, it's played in India. It's played in Dubai. Of course, now with the war happening in Dubai, we don't know what's going on. We haven't heard back from all our hotels and stuff that play music for WA artists that we promote. But, you know, by the way, sending out our thoughts and prayers to all our friends in the Middle East, in Iran, in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia. We've got friends and listeners and fans literally around the Middle East. There's even a radio station in Yemen that plays my music, and Egypt, you know, that plays my songs on a regular basis on commercial radio. So for all my fans and listeners and all WOAFM99 listeners, if you're in that part of the world, our thoughts and prayers are with you. Sincere thoughts and prayers are with you. And please stay safe. And I hope this war ends as soon as possible, okay? Right, so Mama's Boy by Eggman Road, the new single by them. And this was just brought to my attention, actually, because I didn't know that Eggman Road had sent in another song. And I quite like their country music, so this is Mama's Boy. There's another jazz song by Tony that we played, but today I'm going to play Mama's Boy, okay? We then have a band called MoMA, M-O-M-A. I quite like this band, okay? This is Criminals, that's the name of the song, Criminals. Now, this is more like my bass player, Darren, he used to play for a very famous folk band, or folk artist rather. They toured America and everything. And then when he joined me, and when I was touring, I toured America several times. So when he was touring with me, he goes, oh, I did that venue too, you know, when I was with the folk band. So the reason I bring it up is because MoMA is sort of like, it's like a folk artist, but folk rock. But not folk rock in the way you think like an Americana folk rock. It's not that. This is more traditional folk from England, you know, that kind of folk songs and stuff, but that kind of folk rock, okay? I don't know if that makes sense to you. It makes sense to me as a producer and musician. You got to tune in tomorrow to figure out what I'm talking about. It's like a duo singing it, but it's a band, okay? MoMA is a band, but it's a duo, sort of a male and a female doing the singing as well. So I'll get to know more about this band, and we'll bring you more information about MoMA, because I quite like their sound. Okay, their sound is pretty cool. Yeah. Then we've got a band called Naomi Jane, an artist called Naomi Jane. Pumpkin Eater, okay? Now, you guys know I love country, as you know, Eggman Road, and I really fall in love with country artists. I just love their sound. Now, I don't make country music. I do blues and I do Americana, and the closest I came to country was All I Remember, a single that I released a few years ago. And that did really well on MTV, VH1, internationally. But it wasn't a country song, but it had the country feel more than usual. Because I am quite inspired by country music. You know, I listen to country music, I listen to jazz, and I listen to country a lot. And funny enough, these two genres inspire my music. And it's neither country nor jazz, but sounds from there inspire my own sound. You know, like you'll hear fusion and improv from jazz in one of my songs, and then you'll hear, but most of my songwriting is very country inspired because of how beautiful a country song is. Like in 3 minutes, you can tell an entire movie. You know, like Kenny Rogers, for example, Gambler. The entire movie is that 3-minute song. The entire story is that 3-minute song, which is what I love about country. So let me get on back to Naomi Jane. Pumpkin Eater. Now, it did sound, to me, I mean, there are certain country acts that I know or that I used to listen to a lot before, like Dixie Chicks, for example. And then Naomi Jane sounded a little like Dixie Chicks to me. I don't know, maybe because of the harmony and the female singing all around it, you know. Very well produced again. Then we've got, of course, now let me talk about Crooner Ed, our WOA artist, Crooner Ed. Now his song, Too Much on My Mind, has done exceptionally well on YouTube, okay? He's reaching 700 or 800,000 views as of today, maybe 1 million by now. I don't even know, I haven't even checked, because it's mind-blowing what's happening to that song. Now, we are promoting his album, Amazing, Awful, Ordinary Life, which is one of my favorite albums by Crooner Ed. Now, he's a jazz artist, he's a jazz vocalist, you know, one of those crooners, keeping that genre alive, and I'm very proud of Crooner Ed for what he's doing. Fantastic. He's like really taking on the world, you know, #1 on Amazon in America, hitting the charts in Portugal, in the UK, all that kind of stuff. And he's a WA artist. I'm really proud to say that. But so anyway, so Amazing, Awful, Ordinary Life is the album that we're pushing for the Grammys this year, or for the 69th Awards. We're pushing for the charts, all that kind of stuff. But this single, because it did so well, it's not released on the album. It was released separately as a single. But I am going to push the team to add this to his entire sort of campaign for the Grammys and everything, because the song is done so well on YouTube that there has to be something special in there, you know, for the song to do that well. Now, the video is AI generated. His music is not. He's a live artist, uses artists, musicians, session musicians from Brazil and around the world, East Europe, all that kind of stuff. So you can hear that. You can hear the passion in his music. You can hear the quality in his productions, and at the same time you can hear that this is a proper artist, not an AI generated. There's nothing wrong in having AI as a tool, as we've spoken in length in our past interviews with Ed and other artists that have joined me. But there are some artists who use it completely. They use AI to write the song, they use AI to compose a melody, they use AI for everything else as well. You know, if you use AI as a tool, I'm totally fine with it. For example, Eggman Road, they use AI as a tool for production, and the music is fantastic. I love it, you know. But then there are some acts that did send us music in, and it was A to Z was AI. They didn't even come up with a concept, you know. They were like, oh yeah, I want a song that sounds like Dua Lipa, you know, give me that, you know, and that's it. So that's not music we promote, okay? That's obviously no one should be promoting that kind of music in the indie scene, especially, you know, a hardcore indie scene where we put in our life's work is in this music that we make, you know. So there has to be a human touch to that music, otherwise it's just a machine doing it, you know. So anyway, I always get sucked into talking about AI. I don't know why, maybe, but don't get me wrong, okay? AI as a tool is totally fine, you know. I'm happy for artists I don't do that personally, but I do know artists who use it, and they use it well, and that gets their song to a level that you can get onto commercial radio and things like that, which in the end is the goal for a lot of artists. Right, so Crooner Ed, congrats again. Too Much on My Mind is a song that we're going to play. I was going to play one of the songs from his Amazing, Awful, Ordinary Life album, but I decided to do this and push that video even more. Let's get it past the 1 million views mark. You know, how cool would that be for him? Then we've got Trey Stevens with Arkansas Crystal. Very cool country song, very extremely produced sound, but at the same time, the lyrics to it were fantastic. Okay, I just love the concept of the song. Very, very country, very modern country, I should say. Arkansas Crystal, I like that. I like that song. Then, of course, we've got Jacques Penna, WOA artist Jacques Penna with Je suis en rouge. Now, this is a song used on the Go Chill Out Zone Volume 15 from WA, which hit #1 in the UK, hit #1 in Germany. I believe it hit the top 100 in Portugal. We're still waiting for it to rise up a little bit more to really push the news there. But the good news is, the reason I'm playing is this song again by Jacques Penna. He's got a brand new album coming out. WA is supporting it in a big way. But this single is starting to show movement. This particular song is starting to show movement on the charts in France. And he's a French artist, which is a big thing for any artist. You know, you can be, say I'm Portuguese, so if I hit the charts in Portugal, it's awesome for me, you know. Of course, hitting the charts in America and the UK and, you know, the major regions for English music is fantastic. That is the goal, obviously. But like, for example, my music hits the Billboard charts, UK top 100, top 50, top 40 even, and or #1 on iTunes and Amazon. Great, like that is the industry standard. But when I hit #1 in Portugal on iTunes, that's like awesome for me, right? So for Jacques Penna to hit the charts in France would be phenomenal. So I'm fingers crossed for Jacques. Okay, Je suis en route. It's a beautiful French song. It's got a blues tinge to it, but it does fall in the French pop category, I believe. But I think it's more blues, okay, because he's a blues artist and he does it well. He does blues and singer-songwriter, you know, that rough singer-songwriter feel, that it's almost an Americana feel, but in French. That's how I define his music. Very, very cool. And then last but not least, we've got The Cautious Ark, another WOA artist from the US. Now, Cautious Ark, the guy behind Cautious Ark, Joseph, is a doctor. This single, You're Gonna Want Me Back, is the second single from his brand new album that's releasing next month, I believe. So the first single did really well in America. It went number one in jazz. Yeah, it's sort of swing jazz, you know, really fast jazz. And this album, he does house music and he does jazz, okay? So he'll release an album which will have the same songs in jazz and the same songs in house, okay? So I think that is his USP. So it's quite different, quite unique, you know. But I personally like his jazz stuff, okay? But it's not very different from the house stuff because his jazz is not like slow or regular jazz like Crooner Ed, for example. His jazz is more fast jazz, you know, like swing jazz, which sort of complements his house music for the same song, you know. His music did really well on curated playlists around the world, on YouTube Music, Apple Music in 150 countries, all that kind of stuff. Song also played on radio stations, all our mainstream radio stations, like commercial FM stations in Brazil, Latin America, Chile, Nicaragua, Spain, the US, UK, Sweden. So his songs played all over the place, all our WOA partners, you know, so the song is done really well. But I believe the song is now going to be is being pushed for the charts in some of the countries. It's doing really well in the jazz category. It's had a massive push from our radio partners and curator partners. So fingers crossed for the Cautious Ark. So those are the artists who have been selected for our Certified Indie Songs of the Week. Be sure to tune in tomorrow to find out, to listen to all these songs. Also, we've got a special guest joining us tomorrow for the show. So we don't have a video edit of that chat. It's an in-conversation episode that I'm having tomorrow on the radio show, on the WOAFM99 radio show and podcast. And it is Dr. Wanda Alvares who's joining us. And she's my mom, okay? But she's a consultant doctor and she's a counseling psychologist and a board-certified nutritionist. So she does a lot of counseling and consultation for hospitals and doctors and stuff like in the UK and America. But so we've got her in, and Wanda is also part of the WOA team. She's head of marketing as well. But so as a doctor, as a nutritionist especially for this show, she's going to be coming in to give us a few tips to artists and musicians. I get a lot of tips from my mom because being a nutritionist and a psychologist and a doctor, she does give me tips on when I'm traveling, you know, when I'm on tour with the band. So I don't cook and I don't eat well. Like somebody has to give me the right food to eat. Otherwise I'll just eat whatever is at hand, right? So when you're on tour, it's so difficult to maintain your diet, especially if you're in training or you've got a music video coming up and you want to look, you're really, you know, you want to be slim and look really cool. And you go on a tour before the music video and your tour is a 2 or 3 week tour in America, for example, and you're eating McDonald's every day. That's it, you're ruined. Your music video is ruined. That's thousands of dollars down the drain. So anyway, aside from music videos, it's just for health benefits. You know, if you're touring a lot and for example, like me, I live in airports sometimes when I'm on tour, like literally every day. Or sometimes I'm on the road for days together, me and my band, you know. So we get tips from Wanda, my mom, about how to stay healthy on the road. And also when you're working in the studio all night long, like me, you know. Basically, I'll ask her questions that relate to me as a musician. And I'm sure a lot of our musician friends who tune in are going to like or who are going to benefit from those answers that we get from Wanda and some tips. Not many tips, just a short little conversation, okay? Because a lot of people are starting tours now, summer is starting, so a lot of us are going to be on the road, you know, international tours or local tours, doesn't matter. Or you're going to be in the studio right now doing a lot of recording sessions where you don't get time to eat well, or you're just going to go down to the store to eat, I don't know, fish and chips or something. So anyway, so that's what's going to come up on the show. It's a very special show tomorrow. Okay, aside from the Certified Indie Songs of the Week, we've got Dr. Wanda Alvares joining us live in conversation. The first time that we're getting a non-musician in the artist, but she's a producer, of course, a producer on Billboard charting albums. But this is not going to be a conversation about music. It's going to be a conversation about health for musicians, and I hope it kind of you guys like it, because if that works out, I'll be inviting others from different fields that help us as musicians in different aspects of our life. Okay, well, that's it for today, and hope you join us tomorrow for the WOAFM99 radio show and podcast. And day after tomorrow, I'll be doing my Oliver Sean sessions live and unplugged. Some covers, some originals. If you like my music, please tune in. Okay, and it's right here, Oliver Sean, youtube.com/Oliver Sean. Please subscribe, like, and click that notification bell. It really helps the channel. And follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Oliver Sean. You'll find me there, or at Oliver Sean Band, and you'll find me and the guys. That's it. Oliver Sean signing out. Hope you enjoy the show tomorrow. Ciao.